Did they just find Amelia Earhart's long-lost plane? Amelia Earhart was the queen of aviation, setting multiple world records during her lifetime. And she was on her way to set yet another when she took off on her historic trip around the world. But halfway through her journey, she mysteriously vanished without a trace somewhere over the Pacific Ocean. On May 20th, 1937, Earhart, alongside her navigator Fred Noonan, began their flight from Oakland, marking the start of their journey. They covered nearly 22,000 miles, stopping in places like Miami, various South American countries, parts of Africa, and then India. By late June, they reached Papua New Guinea. After some rest, the duo set off for Howland Island, a tiny speck in the Pacific where a refueling station had already been established, specifically for their trip. A U.S. Coast Guard ship was also positioned nearby to assist in their landing. As Earhart and Noonan neared the island, their radio communications were picked up by operators on the Coast Guard vessel. At 6:45 a.m. on July 2nd, Earhart transmitted a message indicating that she was 200 miles from the island. By 7:42 a.m., she communicated stating, "We must be on you, but we cannot see you. Fuel is running low, unable to reach you by radio. We are flying at 1,000 feet." Attempts to respond from the ship were made, but it appeared that the plane could not receive them. At 7:59 a.m., Earhart reported that they were circling and asked them for direction. Then at 8:43 a.m., the last transmission came through, indicating that they were close and moving north and south, but without a clear reference point. Following this, there was no further contact with Earhart and Noonan. Or, so they thought. Until 2018, when new findings were presented that proved this to not be the case. The information was provided by the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery. They released a study that provided substantial evidence indicating Earhart broadcasted radio distress signals for a number of days beyond July 2nd. After Earhart's disappearance, the U.S. Navy issued a comprehensive bulletin to all ships and stations, requesting anybody with a radio to monitor the frequencies Earhart had been using during her journey. Many individuals tuned in, and those who caught Earhart's distress messages were simply tuned in during the right time. Among those tuning in was a 15-year-old girl in St. Petersburg, Florida, who documented some of the frantic phrases she overheard, including, "Water's high, water's knee-deep, let me out, help us, quick." In Toronto, a housewife reported hearing a message as well. She heard, "We have taken in water, we can't hold on much longer." On July 3rd, Nina Maxton from Ashland, Kentucky, claimed that she heard Earhart as well. She heard KHAQQ calling, and she mentioned she was near a small island before the message abruptly ended. She also mentioned something about a storm, the wind's intensity, and a pressing need to leave, saying, "We have to get out of here. We can't stay here much longer." The government carried out a thorough 16-day search for Amelia, deploying 9 ships and 66 airplanes at an expense exceeding $4 million, yet failed to find any conclusive evidence as to what could have possibly happened to her. And now, decades following the mysterious disappearance, a recent deep-sea exploration has brought new evidence to light. Researchers analyzing their sonar data have identified an object resembling an airplane. What makes this intriguing was that this find was made not far from Howland Island, which was a scheduled refueling stop for Earhart, a destination they famously never reached. And that's just the beginning of the mysteries surrounding her disappearance. Researchers have analyzed over 2,000 Coast Guard and U.S. Navy logs, plus 57 radio messages. And what they found is truly shocking. Their analysis suggests that the messages originated near Gardner Island. Amelia's last radio message indicated her position along line 157-337, moving north to south, which aligns with Gardner Island. The researchers concluded that Earhart and Noonan likely made an emergency landing on Gardner Island's reef. And guys, that's not all. They also noted that there was a pattern in which the messages came in that was oddly specific, almost as if Amelia was only sending distress messages when the tide was out, leading to researchers to believe that the plane was halfway underwater. Now, how did they come to this realization? Well, they knew that the way the plane worked, in order to engage the battery and send power through the systems, the plane's engine must be turned on. And obviously, the plane's radio needed power to operate, meaning that she was only able to use the radio when the water level was low enough for the propeller tip to clear the water, and she was able to start the plane. To test this hypothesis, researchers compared past tidal levels and reef height data from Gardner Reef to the received lost signals. And guys, the correlation was astounding. Every credible transmission was sent out when the water level was low enough for the propeller to clear. But guys, there's even more to the story. In 1940, a discovery on Gardner Island piqued the interest of many. Bones initially thought to be Amelia's, however, they were misidentified as male and discarded. But in 2018, this evidence was revisited by a forensic anthropologist who re-examined the bones using new technology. And guys, his analysis not only identified the bones as female, but also indicated a high similarity to Amelia's own measurements, causing scientists to conclude that they were in fact Amelia's. The combination of this data and the radio message analysis forms an intriguing yet somber story. That's why I find the sonar image particularly fascinating. I am heavily invested and I am dying to know what they find. So I will keep updated on the latest findings, and I'll make sure to pass them along to you as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And if you guys don't want to miss out on any of these updates, make sure to follow my page and hit that notification bell. Also, your guys' engagement really helps push me to that For You page. So make sure you guys keep the comments rolling and keep on sharing. You guys have been awesome lately, and I really appreciate all the love and all the interactions you guys have been giving me. Thank you guys again, and I will see you on the next one.